Hey guys, welcome to Business with H&E Studios. My name is Chris Hinojosa. I'm here with Vincent. He's has his company here in Abilene called Veterans Roofing. Uh, I guess before we even dive in your company, let's talk a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, like you mentioned, um, my name is Vincent Marquez. I'm a junior. Born here in Abilene, Texas. Um, uh, I have three kids, a couple grandkids as well. Um, like I said, I'm born here in Abilene. Went to school here. It's been a year. We moved out to Houston. My dad was in construction for a long time, so we ended up moving 1 year to be closer to that direction where he was at. But for the most part, man, I've been here all my life. Joined the military in 2004. Spent about 4 years in San Diego, um, and then in 2008, came back home, man, and got on with the sheriff's department there at the jail for a little while. And then after that, I tried a few things in between, car sales, uh, things like that. And then I spent from 2011 to 2018 working for the prison system here in town. And then around that time, man, something happened at that time where it allowed me the opportunity to go back, get my associate's degree, kind of finish that up. And I kind of had a business mindset at that time. Wanted to own a business, just didn't know what I wanted to do. Then I kind of stumbled into solar, man, and that's kind of how I got into the cleaning side of it
Mm,
after the sales side of it. Um, and then here we are today. Started this roofing construction business here about this will be our first full year actually doing it. So it's
okay.
100% veteran owned, operated. Not very big, like I said, it's a small business, but that's kind of where we're at now.
Okay. Well, that kind of leads me into my first question, actually,
Okay.
about you. I guess when you started it, like you said, this year,
hmm
what services do you provide?
So when I first went into this, it was just focusing more on the roofing side of it, roof replacements, repairs, anything that had to do with a roof. It's kind of what I started it off as. But then with the background of my father being in construction for over 30 years and just kind of growing up around the construction business, I guess you'd say. Um, Even though during those early years, I never really got into the construction side like my dad did, right? So I pay attention here and there, go help on some stuff. Didn't think nothing about it, but when I did the roofing, I decided to add or incorporate the construction side of it, not just roofing,
Mm,
kind of make it a little bit of a broader business. And of course, with my dad, you know, that just helped bringing him on. Because if I'm not sure about something or got a question, then I can bounce it off him.
yeah.
Because he's got, like I said, over 30 years experience, commercial, residential, government work, just all kinds of stuff. So,
Well, what do you think? I guess makes your business different. Of course, it sounds like your dad because I met your dad several times. Oh, not several times. I met him once, and
yeah,
ever since then we've talked. I mean, he's very knowledgeable.
it's crazy. He is. I mean, sometimes I just kind of get kind of like, man, it's just, I mean, he knows so much. He's done so much. Like I said, he's worked at the state level. You know, uh, he was he was over the project of building the two prisons here in town back in the day.
Yeah,
Did a lot of work at the base, worked under the government level, you know. Um, he's just done so much. I mean, of course, he grew up in that environment too, right? From a young age, kind of.
yeah,
My grandfather owned a landscaping business. My uncle owned a lawn mowing business. So, I mean, he's kind of grown up and he's learned a lot over the years. So, having him with me on this really has helped a lot. Because, like I said, I'm still learning as I go as well and stuff. So if I don't quite know something or can't figure something out, or he's always got two or three options or two or
yeah.
three ways to do something. So I think that's probably what I mean. Not saying that other businesses out there don't have people like that necessarily, but I mean,
Well, it sounds like you have decades of experience, basically,
yeah, a
that kind
lot
of set you aside from
that helps.
others for
Yeah,
sure.
no, for sure that does. That helps me a lot. So, just having just having his knowledge, even though we bump heads a lot, father
Yeah,
son,
yeah,
we bump heads, but at the end of the day, after I get over my, oh, I know it all, I guess, in a way at times,
yeah,
I have to give it to him. I mean, he knows his stuff, so it definitely
yeah,
helps when it comes to different projects that we do, whether
yeah.
it's roofing, whether it's siding jobs, interior remodels, whatever. So that's a big plus on my hand
Okay.
for sure.
What I guess why did you choose your business name, or what's kind of?
So I'm not very good at coming up with business names, and I found that out when I wanted to do the solar panel cleaning. I think I spent I don't know how many nights thinking, looking, googling business names. I'm like, no, that's not good.
Yeah,
But I mean, I just reverted back to a big period in my life that kind of changed me as who I am as a person, right? Because obviously, prior to going to the military, I was hard headed, 27-year-old kid, you know, learning responsibility, things like that, right? But it was like once I hit that 4 years military from 2004 to 2008, it's like I saw myself do a 360, So that was a big part in my life. So, I'm proud that I served, um, honorable discharge. I'm a veteran. So when it came to time to pick a name for the solar panel cleaning business, I kind of went with the word veterans, right? I want to incorporate veterans because I think that to a lot of people, I feel like that means a lot to them sometimes. You know,
yeah,
not necessarily to get the edge over anybody else by any means, because at the end of the day, people aren't going to hire you for your name. They're going to hire you for your work, your reputation,
yeah,
stuff like that. But it's catchy, you know, and I'm a veteran. So I went with veterans for the solar panel deal. And then when it came time for this one, it was like, well, I'm not going to put in that 2 or 3 nights or more of Googling
yeah,
business names.
yeah.
I'm just going to keep going with what I have: veterans, roofing, and construction services. So that's kind of how that name came up.
I guess what do you think that means to your customers? I know you kind of talked about it a little
Right.
bit, but like, what do you think? And I get it where it doesn't give you an up compared to just
Right.
because your services are what
Exactly.
matter, the
And
quality.
yeah,
But
and that's definitely not how I look at it. But the word veterans does hold some weight
yeah,
because, when I hear a veteran, it's like, oh, kind of catches my attention a little bit more. Or if I'm looking
yeah,
for a service, possibly, and I come across someone that has the name veterans, you know, um, just like, we have a good friend of the family. He owns Veterans Garage Door. You know, I've always, when I hear people talk about garage doors, it comes to mind, veteran, you know.
yeah,
I just feel like as a veteran, that business should uphold the highest standard of service or whatever they're doing.
yeah,
Not saying someone without the word veterans doesn't necessarily, but in my mind, I feel like their their ceiling that they hold themselves to should be a lot higher than the average person, basically.
yeah. I agree. That's kind of what comes to mind for me for sure. Is like
Yeah,
just the discipline and the follow through and
yeah,
the detail. Like
for sure.
that's where like with that name it does hold a high standard
It
than
does.
others.
It
So
does because I mean,
yeah,
you sign up for the military. You're saying, hey, I'm gonna do my 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 20 years, and I'm gonna commit to it, and I'm gonna do it this way, and blah blah blah. Well, that translates out here into the real world too.
yeah.
The same thing in business and life. So, you know,
What do you think's I guess a popular product or service that you provide? I guess
yeah. I don't know if I would say. I don't know if I could point out a popular service. Um, I mean, roofing and construction. Roofing, roofing to me is a popular industry. There's things to people's homes, homeowners, that they must take care of, that they need
yeah,
to. And you hear the whole cliche, oh, I need a roof over my head.
yeah,
Okay, well, you need a roof over your head, but you need one that don't leak.
yeah,
You need one that's gonna be a solid roof on your house, right? So I mean, obviously that's big. Um, and then here lately we've been doing a lot of siding jobs. We've been doing screened in porches. Um, and then just the normal interior paint jobs. We have a job coming up here soon where the customer wants to turn a shed into a tiny home for her mother.
oh wow,
So we're going to be jumping on that here soon. So I mean, I wouldn't say there's a particular popular service necessarily, because I feel like all the services that we provide are popular, or
Yeah.
that people want them, or they need them, or they want to get them done, or something.
Yeah.
So
What's I guess a typical day for Vincent, and like how do you I guess how do you help your clients out in the day as well?
right, okay. So a typical day, man. Of course, being being in business for yourself, you have to get out there and make something happen. It's not just going to come to you necessarily. Um, it'll be nice if some point down the road, as I grow, years go by, that you know it kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
But you know, um, pretty much, man. Up in the morning, first things first, got to get my coffee somewhere.
Yeah.
Whether it's at the house or whether it's somewhere else, I got to get the coffee going. And then I'm not a big breakfast person, but every now and then I'll get an itch for
Yeah.
something. So I got to
Yeah.
get the day started uh, that way. But other than that, man, I'll have customers that reach out. Like I said, man, they'll be like, hey, like especially here recently, we had a little rainstorm come through.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people found out that they have leaks in their roof, right?
Yep.
So it's like, okay, so here lately we've been going and putting tarps on roofs, going and looking at roofs, seeing if we can find where the leak might be coming from. Um, you know, and then I could go dead for like 3 hours, 4 hours, and just think, okay, the day's done for the most part. I got everything that I've got coming up taken care of. Everything's lined out. Quotes are done. Material gathering is good, and it'll be like, man, what do I do next? It'll be like, I'll be honest with you. I think the biggest risk that helped my business grow is just, and I don't mean to get too religious, but I took a leap of faith. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I did it with the solar panel deal. I knew it wasn't really a hot service, something new, but I went all in
Yeah.
for the most part. Even with this business, it's just been like, I'm going all in, not knowing, like I said, like I've told you before, I'm a small fish in a big pond out here. I
Yeah.
mean, you got multiple businesses, roofing businesses that have years ahead of me, right? That are
Yeah.
established, that are known. So for me, it was like, well, no one knows me really, but the risk of stepping out and doing this as a means to provide, you know, that was a big risk. And by doing that, it really has helped my business grow so far. I mean, we're what? We're fixing to be in October.
Yeah.
So we're 10 months in
Yeah.
really to the business. And I mean, I've been lucky enough to where, you know, it's kind of taken off for me a little bit. So I'm kind of excited to see, okay, if this year's been as decent as it's been, wonder what next year's gonna look like. So that's probably the biggest risk, man. It's helped my business grow. Is just taking that leap of faith, man. Just putting it all in his hands and saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
this is all you."
Yeah. Yeah. Because they say normally, at least from what I hear,
Mm-hmm.
during the fall, I guess roofing slows down, but I don't know if that's true or
Well,
not. I mean,
it does kind of slow down. I mean, you can ask one roofer that question and then turn around and ask another roofer that question, and you're probably gonna get two different
yeah.
responses. But generally, I mean, who wants to be on a roof? I mean, yeah, here in
Yeah.
West Texas, we don't get necessarily blizzards and
Yeah.
below zero, but at what, 40 degrees, we're like, oh, shit, we're staying inside the house.
Yeah.
you know? So who wants to be on
Yeah.
a roof doing that? So, I mean, we're going to have days like that coming up, but we're also going to have nice, decent 70, 80-degree days as well.
Yeah.
So, um, but typically, yeah, you'll start seeing a trend where it kind of slows down for these next few months. But, I mean, you still have some that pop up that you can do, that you can schedule on certain days.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm starting to learn that one of the biggest assets to a roofer is the weather app.
Yeah. True.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Even though the weather can change like that, but I mean, I'm always checking the weather,
Yeah.
especially this time of year. I'm like, okay, what's it gonna look like next week? When can I schedule this roof? Oh, I can't schedule this week. This calls for rain next week.
Yeah.
So typically it kind of slows down this time of year, but that's kind of why I kind of chose in the beginning to add the construction side to it, because not all construction work is necessarily outside.
Yeah.
You got inside stuff that you can still do. So that kind of hoping that kind of helps me out during these fall winter months coming up. If you can,
Yeah, I
fall
would could
winter
see it.
months,
Yeah.
you know. So we'll see what happens.
How do you think technology has helped your business?
So I'm not big on technology, um, but I have definitely invested in some things that technology based that take a little bit off my hands. The software that we use for roof measuring that we use to streamline our process. It's been great. Just a click of a button.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Oh yeah.
Explain.
Okay. Yeah, there is, man. Well, I didn't know there was a thing either. You
Yeah.
know, just real quick. Back in high school. There's a few summers where one of our family members that they have a roofing business here in town. Been here for years. You know, he dragged me and my cousins and his son out to go roof in the summer.
Yeah.
It was more manual labor side of things, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, it was still roofing. But I don't remember. I remember seeing him or hearing that they're up on roofs, tape measures, and steep roofs, and just you know out there in the sun and measuring. Which now these days there's programs, satellite imagery that you can basically put in the address. It'll pull it up. Click a button, pay your little payment to have it done, and within 3 hours, you have all your measurements for that roof
Oh wow.
at your hands already. So that kind of eliminates having to necessarily go out there and do that.
Yeah.
Not that it's not a bad idea to go double check yourself, maybe.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I've I've never I've never been off on my
Yeah.
measurements for the most part.
Well, it
So
sounds useful because
oh, it's very
I know
useful.
some roofers they kind of over order,
You can,
and they
and
end
I
up
have from
having
time to time,
yeah,
but like I've told y'all, I'd rather over order a little bit than under order.
yeah,
you know. But for the most part, the program, the software, the technology, whatever you want to call it, that I use, it's pretty much been spot on for
yeah,
the most part. I haven't had anything, but that's a way that helps me streamline my process. And then the communication between me and the customer, this software allows us to do that. Send the quote. They can respond back to me through this software. Um, there's just all kinds of features, and I just got a I just got a webinar link the other day to attend one through that software program, and I didn't get to make it, but they sent me a replay of it, and they're fixing to integrate AI into this
I don't believe
software.
it.
Yeah, they're fixing to integrate AI into this to where you know that's just going to add another level of what would you call it? It's going to add another level of man. Uh, it's just going to allow me and the customer and the process to flow even smoother and communicate even better.
Oh, wow.
So I'm interested to see what that's going to bring, this AI that's
Yeah.
starting to come out now.
Well, speaking of you and customers, how do you attract customers to your business? What's something that you've been doing?
So that was something that I struggled with at first, kind of thinking, man, how am I going to attract customers? Like how?
Yeah.
I don't really have the finances to put up commercials on TV or do radio spots, or I
Yeah.
didn't. So I just kind of reverted back to what I kind of started with the solar panel cleaning business, Facebook, you know, um, and really that's where it started at, and then word of mouth, talking to friends, putting it out there. I was shocked when I got my first roof.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shoot, got my first roof. So what I do, man, you'll get yard signs.
Yeah.
So when I did yard signs, then I started seeing those were helping. People
Yeah.
would stop and say, hey, I see you siding this house or you're roofing this house. You think you can come look,
I think
at
that's
ours?
that sign thing is big
Crazy.
because
Yeah.
especially if you finish the roof and you have the
Yeah.
sign there, like just the quality of
Yeah.
the roof, like you're providing. I think
Yeah.
it's really cool. So
And that's helped. Like I said,
yeah,
I've probably picked up 3 to 4 or 5 jobs just based off those signs
wow,
right there.
yeah,
And I don't go deliver them on every corner of every street or intersection and stuff.
yeah,
But when I do a job, I ask the customer, hey, do you mind if I put this sign out front? And 9 times out of 10, well, so far 10 times out of 10, they've been like,
yeah,
oh yeah, Vince, go ahead. And then we'll be at the job, or something, and all of a sudden somebody will pull up or stop. I'm like, hey, can I get a business card from you? Or hey, I got a so and so,
Yeah.
and it just leads into something else, you know. And
It's
then
good.
Facebook, of course, I got a
Yeah.
Facebook page, you know. So right now, that's my only form of kind of getting myself out there.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I got approached by Lamar Signs here during the Olympics,
Oh yeah.
and they were doing digital boards, and there was one right over here down the road from y'all, and I was like, man, I think that'd be cool, but I don't know if it'll help. But I went ahead and did it. I sponsored the Olympics uh, screen where it kept the medal count,
Yeah.
but it had my logo up there and my business number, and I was
Awesome.
like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it didn't break the bank necessarily,
Yeah.
you know. So it was like, no, let's just see what this form of advertising does,
Yeah.
you know. And if it works and I get cool, if not, well then hey, no big deal.
Worth a shot
It's worth
for
a
sure.
shot for sure,
Yeah.
100%. So
I guess the next question is, how do you handle customer feedback to improve your services?
so of course of course being from business for myself, whether it's the solar panel cleaning or whether it's the roofing, or whether it's been watching my dad when he had his own little business, construction business and stuff. Customer feedback's important, right? Whether it's negative or whether it's positive,
Yeah.
still it's important. I've been fortunate that I haven't had negative, you know, which is good.
Yeah.
But I do also know that at the end of the day, um, I may not be able to just please everybody. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just the way life is. I'm the same way. You have me 5 contractors come to my house, redo my bathroom, each of them do it. Probably gonna find something, right, that I'm not happy
Yeah.
with each one.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're bad people or they don't do good work. It just may not be something that I agree with how they did something. So I kind of keep that same mindset with my customers, because at the end of the day, just as much as they're a homeowner trying to get a service for their house, I'm a homeowner as well. And sometimes I may need to get a service for my house, you know? So it's like, you know, I want to get their feedback at the end of the job, during
Yeah.
the job, get their expectations prior to the job. And then, of course, I try to overachieve their expectations.
Yeah.
I tell all my customers, hey, you call me day or night. And they're like, oh, I'm not going to call you at night. I'm like, no, for real.
Yeah.
Because normally I don't go to bed any earlier than probably 2 in the morning sometimes.
Oh
Or
wow.
most times, bro.
Yeah.
I'm up late. My mind just
Yeah.
constantly running, or I got quotes I got to get out or something. So I try to tell my customers, like, or at least make them feel like they can reach out to me at any time.
Yeah.
Whether or not they do call me at 10, 11 o'clock at night or something,
Yeah.
maybe not. But at least they know, they feel comfortable that, hey, if I do need to or something, Vince is going to be there. He's going to
Yeah.
answer his phone, or, you know, or whatever the case is. So, you know, but I definitely like to get feedback from customers, you know, and I'm horrible about asking for reviews or whatever. You know, I had the Google.
Yeah. That was the next question. Is I
Okay.
guess you're on Google, right?
Yeah, I have a Google listing. Of course, you know, you Google my name, you probably have to scroll back 3 pages, right? But I am I am easy to find. If you type in veterans roofing, I'm the only one that's gonna come up.
Yeah.
But I do have a Google page, but I'm horrible about asking
For reviews.
for reviews.
Yeah.
And people tell me all the time, "Bench, you ask for reviews." And they ask for reviews. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do need to," but that's not on my mind at the time.
Well, hopefully, if your customers see this video, I mean, maybe they'll remember and
Yeah,
they'll
they'll
go in and get you
Yeah,
a
they'll be like,
review.
"Hey, I know you're bad about asking for reviews, but I saw your video, so just so
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna leave you a review." And I've had a couple that have, you know, I mean, I've had a couple that have, and I've been fortunate that they've all been 5 stars, right? Everybody wants 5 stars, but I've had a couple that have left me some reviews, and it's another thing that I added to that software program. When I send out a final invoice to a customer, it'll give them a link directly to my Google review.
Oh, okay.
So it's right
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
on the screen. They can just tap it, and it'll take them straight to the Google review page.
Yeah.
And they can leave their reviews, and that thing's always turned on. So when I submit an invoice at the end,
That's
they
smart.
have that option. Yeah, because I was bad
Yeah.
about asking, like I told you.
Yeah.
So, my software manager, as he likes to call himself, he went ahead and turned that feature on for me.
Yeah.
So now it's just automatic.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, technology, that's another way that it's kind
Technology.
of helping you there.
Oh,
So,
for sure. For sure.
um,
Technology definitely has helped me in
what
this.
What would you say to someone that's trying to start a business like yours, like maybe roofing or construction? What I guess um feedback, or what would you tell them? Advice. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking
Right,
for.
advice. I think my biggest advice is would be to that person is figure out what your worth is. Like, how much are you worth to somebody, right? Um, because me, I'm a very I try to be a very humble person. You know, I'm not a flashy person, and I've never been that type of person at all. But you have to determine your worth because there's so much competition out here. You know, obviously the companies that have been around here the longest, their worth is up there. So
Mm-hmm.
when they call you and they go give you an estimate and you look at it and you're like, oh wow, that's a big number. Well, it's because
Yeah.
they're worth that. They their knowledge, they're worth it. So when you're starting out, it's kind of like, man, what am I worth? You know, but you have to figure that out, and that's kind of something that kind of troubled me in the beginning too, because like, man, what's my worth? What's my background worth? What's my knowledge worth?
Yeah.
You know, so I would say that determine your worth and everything, and that'd be a good foundation to start at. You know, and then just listen to your customers. It's another big thing. Listen to your customers. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you got to listen to every one of them
Yeah.
necessarily, but I mean, your customers are going to give you some good feedback. They're going to give you some good stuff. You know, I've had some customers that have, you know, they've been like, hey Vince, I saw this or I read about this or I have an uncle that's been in construction for this many years. You know, they mentioned this. Some contractors will get mad, or not get mad, but they'll just get like, "Ah, what are you telling me that for?"
Yeah.
I don't look at it that way. I don't like. I'm doing a project for you. This is your home. You're paying for this. You're paying for the service. So for the most part, I don't mind listening to what you have to say or what and
Yeah.
then we'll talk about it and we'll decide what way is best and we'll go from there. So you know, listening to your customers is going to be valuable because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, if you have no customers, you have no business.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
You don't.
What do you think's the best decision that you made that helped you grow your customers? Which I guess we kind of
Well,
talked a little bit on the advertising that did
yeah.
that, but I mean, anything else that you can think of?
Ask that question again.
Like what I guess helped grow your
Grow my
business?
business.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think just the fact that I'm a personable person.
Yeah.
Like I can like I'll talk your ear off. You know, it don't matter what it is. It can be about the project going on. It
Yeah.
could be about sports. It could be anything. So I like to feel like I'm a personable person. Like I can relate to
Yeah.
people. Um, I've had just with me being a customer at times. You kind of get these guys that come in and they try to be real salesy.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, like be yourself,
Yeah. I agree.
relax.
Yeah.
So with me, it's just like, I'm a very blunt, outspoken person. So, I'm gonna tell you like, that's probably not the best way to do that. Or, you know, but I think that helps me with my customers because I don't want my customers to feel like, oh, this guy's just trying to sell us.
Yeah.
Nah. Like generally before I even start talking to you about your project, like I want to get to know you. Like almost on a like a acquaintance slash
Mm-hmm.
friend level.
Yeah.
I want to get to know you, you know? So, you know, I'll ask questions or if I see something that I can relate to. And then once we kind of establish that relationship, once you kind of see who I am as a person, kind of get a feel for me, and you kind of feel like you can relax. Because a lot of people, they get on guard when they talk to salespeople, contractors.
Yep.
There's just so much negative in the contracting world that's going on at times that people are just kind of on guard already. I don't know about this guy, so I want to build that relationship. I want to knock down them walls so that way the customer can feel comfortable coming to me and saying, "Hey, Vince, I have this issue, or I have this concern," or
Yeah.
vice versa. "Hey, Mrs. Customer, I was looking at this and I don't think that's going to work like that. What
Yeah.
do y'all think about this?" We can have that, you know, level of understanding.
Yeah.
So
I know you've always helped with me when I had questions with customers about
right,
roofing or whatever. That's why I enjoy, working with you in general, just because, like, I mean, I can call you, you'll be
yeah,
like, yeah, like, this is what they need or this is what I would recommend,
yeah,
because sometimes the customer doesn't know how to fix a small problem until
right,
someone like
right,
yourself can inspect
right.
their house. So,
Or not just that, but the person that's talking to you or asking you, and you may not know, but they may not want to spend the money to get a contractor. So if it's
yeah,
something that's simple and small that the customer may not be thinking about, if you give me a call, I'm not gonna be like, oh well, tell that guy it's a $50 diagnostic fee.
yeah,
I'm not gonna do that. Like, bro, like if I can give you the information or if I can get the information, if I don't know it, I can find out for you
yeah,
and I'll let you know real quick. So that way you can let your customer know inside the store that, hey, this is what, our roofing guy recommends or says or
yeah,
whatever. And at the end of the day, man, like that's kind of what I want to be here for, to help in that
yeah,
way too. It's not all about the money. It's not all about that. It's about helping people as well along the way.
yeah.
So that's my mindset on that.
Um, do you do, I guess, free estimates? Do you
hmm
charge, or I mean, how does that
No,
work?
no, we offer free estimates. I think most businesses these days, no matter what it is, most, I say most, not all, but most, I think you're starting to see where most people are doing, excuse me, that are doing the free estimates, free quotes, free home
Yeah,
inspections, free roof inspections, free whatever. Um, now there are some of those uh, construction industries or whatever you want to call it that they'll charge you $150 just to come out and look at something.
yeah,
Depending on what it is, if you need it, well, then you got to pay it. But I try not to do that. I don't want to. I don't want to present an expense right off the bat just to help somebody out or just to diagnose something or to check something or
yeah,
whatever. So no, we offer free inspections, free quotes, estimates, all that. I've even gone above and beyond, and I'll fight the insurance for my customers on stuff.
yeah,
I know some roofing contractors, they don't want to touch that. They're like, oh no, Mr. Homeowner, Miss Homeowner, you handle that.
yeah,
And then some will be like, no, I'll take care of this for you, or I'll provide this information.
yeah,
So and that's something that's a little bit above and beyond the normal scope of what a roofing contractor necessarily needs to do, right?
yeah,
So just the small stuff like that that to me goes a long ways. And I've been fortunate to help out 3 customers here lately with their insurance where they've pretty much either denied the claim over technicality or didn't include something,
mm,
material wise
yeah,
or something. Um, so I've kind of reached out to their insurance and like, hey, come on, man.
yeah,
They've been paying their insurance for all these years, bro. 20 plus years, never had a claim. And now they got this one. Come on.
yeah.
So,
Well, on that, I mean, I know last time we kind of talked
uh-huh.
about, like, after a hailstorm,
mm,
like you recommend having an insurance adjuster come out and checking,
right.
inspecting
Yeah.
regardless, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Regardless. I mean, the shingles are obviously the shingles these days are a lot more durable than shingles of the past, right? They're always
yeah,
improving them, all that. But after a nice little hailstorm, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea, to call somebody and just say, hey, can you come look at my roof? There may
yeah,
not be nothing up there. They still might be in good shape. There may not be no hail damage really, but, can you come look at it? Now, maybe 5 or 6 out of 10 people will do that, you know, and then the other 3 or 4 people, they don't think about it. They're just like, oh, okay, they had a hailstorm, no big deal, blah, blah. And it's not till down the road where all of a sudden they look up at their ceiling one day and they notice
a leak.
a leak. It's
Yeah,
wet. What's going on? It's like, oh, shoot. Well, could be because of that hailstorm. Um, but, um, you know, and I think you had asked me in the past too about, how can you tell? Um, I mean, from the ground level, it's kind of hard to tell unless the roof is just so old. You'll start seeing this shininess to the roof. It's that
mm,
fiberglass
oh, okay,
underneath there.
yeah,
The granules have already come off. The top layers rubbed off real good. And you start seeing the fiberglass. It looks shiny. It looks kind of spidery,
mm,
webbed. It's like, oh man, that's a old roof right there.
Yeah.
I wonder how many hailstorms that's been through, or how long has it
Yeah.
been since they've replaced that roof. But definitely one of the first signs is going to be a leak in your roof. It's like, oh crap, something's going on up there. Let's get it looked at. We had a hailstorm 2 weeks ago. It was inch and a half, 2 inch size hail. It was coming down hard. I could hear it. Kept me up all night. It may not be a bad idea to just have somebody come look at it.
Yeah.
So, mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Vincent, I do appreciate you coming up here and joining us at H&E Studios. This is our business segment, actually, and
Yeah.
we're trying to bring in business owners to talk about their business, to talk about their
Mhm.
services they provide. Is there anything else you want to add, or maybe let your customers know?
Um. Well, first, man, I appreciate y'all letting me do this. I mean,
Yes, sir.
what I'm saying? I know this is a new business venture for y'all, and
Yeah,
man, this is an awesome setup, bro.
appreciate it.
Like I can see the value that this could bring, especially this day and age with so much podcast, so much
Yeah,
social media, Instagram, Twitters. I can see how something like this could provide somebody with some benefit to their business.
yeah,
So being, I guess your first one to come in and do something like this,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. So I appreciate y'all allowing me to do this. But I don't know if I really have anything to say. I think I've said a lot already, probably. But like I said, I guess if I did have a chance to say anything is, hey, we're a new business here in town. Obviously we provide the roofing, the construction side, and there's other great companies out there. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like our customers will get a little bit something different working with us because every company is going to be different and offer their own services and how they do things.
yeah,
But I like to think that we're going to provide something that our customers are going to like, maybe, or feel more comfortable just a little bit more than the next man. And that's
Okay.
no knock on the next man. It's
Yeah.
just, that's how I feel about it. So
Okay. What's I guess let them know how they can find you and maybe a
okay,
phone number how they can
yeah,
contact you.
yeah, definitely. You can find us on Facebook. We got a Facebook page. Just you'll search Veterans Roofing Construction Services. And then if you want to get a hold of me, our number is 325-721-3470. That's direct number to me. Like I said, this is pretty much a 100% veteran owned and operated business, which is myself. Of course, like we mentioned before, my dad,
Mm-hmm.
he definitely tags along, helps me out, but I pretty much handle all the day-to-day operations until I can get to a point where, it's like, okay, hiring for this
Yeah.
or that, take a little bit.
That will come.
It'll come, man. It'll come. I hope it comes soon.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna rush it
Yeah.
because like I've told you before, man, it's not on my time.
Yeah.
It's on the man above's time. So he's gotten me to this point over the last 42 years. I know he'll get me where he wants me to be. Over the next,
Yeah.
hopefully, another 42 years.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you watching. That's our business segment with H&E Studios. See ya.